Good morning, YouTube. What is up? I hope you guys are doing good. It's Accidental Sportsman here, filming another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. It's not going to be too much fishing, might be some clips in here, but we're going to be talking about my personal top 5 favorite baits and lures to use to target winter steelhead. Not saying by any means these are the best, but this is just personally my go-tos and what I would use, telling somebody what to do. All right, since we're talking about fishing from the bank here, my number 5, and the first one we're gonna talk about is gonna be the jig. Now, there's all sorts of different types of jigs. This isn't a nightmare colorway, it's an arrow jig, but there's lots of different weights, lots of different colors you could use to match the water, match the speeds, everything like that. With jigs, they're a lot more of a quiet presentation. There's no vibrating, there's no like flashing. You're just going to be slowly drifting through the hole. It's a slow, natural presentation. So if you're in an area where there's a lot of pressure, it could be better to run some jigs and let the fish see something new, see something a lot more calm, and hopefully they can key in on that and that'll work out for you. All right, and now getting to number 4 on my list, that's going to be a spinner. There is all sorts of different brands that make spinners, and a lot of them have different styles. There's lots of different colors, different weights, sizes, everything when it comes to spinners. With spinners, really you want it to be a last effort in the hole. You don't want to be ripping spinners through your hole early when you could be drifting beads or drifting worms or anything like that. The spinner is really loud, it's going to be flashy, it's going to be vibrating, and really you want to use it to when you can't get those steelhead to bite on anything else, and you want them to just get, well, you just want them to get pissed off with the spinner and chase it and hopefully get them to hit on that. All right, the next thing, and number 3 on my list, is going to be worms. So these are some 3.5-inch worms right here. They're black and red, but another great thing about worms that's really similar to a lot of steelhead lures and baits, they come in so many different colors and sizes that you could really match them perfectly to the water you're fishing. With worms though, you're normally going to fish it on a jig head, or you could fish them sometimes like you would fish something like a soft bead and have it rest a little bit above your hook. The difference between fishing worms and beads though is that they're a lot better for snaggy water. So worms will rest and drift above the water column compared to something like a bead that's dragging sort of along the bottom. So you're really avoiding those snags, and those fish will swim up out of the water column and hit the worm. So that's what's really great about those. All right, these next 2 for me are gonna be very interchangeable. But I am going to put roe in the 2 spot. So with that, roe is probably one of the easier baits to fish with. Since it is naturally occurring, it really keys in on the fish's natural feeding instincts, and it gives off a huge scent. And the scent is huge when it comes to catching steelhead. Since the fish are able to smell it, they're able to find it in the water easier, opposed to a bead with no scent drifting right in front of their face. Although roe is really good and easy to use, it can be pretty inaccessible for some people depending on where you live, and nothing beats homemade salmon roe. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about, and my number 1 on the list, is going to be soft beads. I have so many everywhere. It's by far my most fished thing, and I think that they're really good for keeping you in the strike zone the longest. They look very natural to what the steelhead are naturally feeding on. So it's really good at keeping you in the strike zone for the longest and getting those hits out of the fish. They're pretty accessible. You could find them in about any tackle shop you go to. And they're just great overall for catching fish and staying in the strike zone. They're very easy to fish as well. Well, with that, I hope you guys found this useful, and maybe this could help you get on some fish in the future and help you figure out what you want to use. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.